Tonic immobility. You're standing there, and your body just stops listening to you. You want to run. You're telling your legs to move, and they don't, not won't, can't. Every signal is getting lost somewhere between your brain and your muscles, and you're just stuck, frozen, watching it happen. This isn't weakness. It isn't you giving up. It has a name, tonic immobility. And it might be the most misunderstood response the human body has. Here's what's actually happening. Your nervous system is doing two things at once. Part of it is screaming fight or flight, heart pounding, adrenaline flooding your blood. But another part, older, deeper, has slammed on the brakes, the gas and the brake, pressed down at the same time. And here's the strange part. You're not shutting down. While your body is locked in place, your mind is still wide awake, still tracking everything happening around you. You're not gone. You're trapped inside a body that won't move. When it finally releases, that's when the shaking starts, the trembling. That's not fear leaving you. That's energy your body never got to use, finally finding a way out. You didn't fail to act. Your body made the decision before you even had the chance to. Fawn Response. Someone raises their voice at you, and something inside you immediately shifts, not into anger, not into silence, into something else entirely. A sudden, overwhelming urge to make them feel better, to agree, to smile, to fix whatever they're feeling, even if they're the one hurting you. You tell yourself that's just who you are, easygoing, a peacemaker, someone who hates conflict. But it isn't a personality trait, it's a survival response. And it has a name, the Fawn Response. It's the fourth survival response, the one nobody talks about. Fight, flight, freeze, and then this. Your nervous system, sensing danger, makes a calculation. The safest way out isn't to run or resist, it's to become exactly what the threat needs you to be. So you shrink, you agree. You make yourself useful, pleasant, invisible. Not because you want to, because somewhere deep in your nervous system, it learned that keeping someone else calm is the fastest way to keep yourself safe. The most unsettling part? It looks nothing like fear. It looks like kindness. It looks like being helpful, agreeable, easy to be around. And that's exactly why it goes unnoticed for years. Sometimes survival doesn't look like fighting back. Sometimes it looks like saying yes when every part of you means no. Adrenaline dump. The danger is over. You made it through, and then your hands start shaking. Not during, not when it mattered. Now. When you're safe. When there's nothing left to be afraid of. Your legs go weak. Your chest won't slow down. You might feel like crying and have no idea why. This is called an adrenaline dump. The moment your brain sensed danger, it didn't ask permission. It flooded your blood with adrenaline in milliseconds. Your heart spiked. Your muscles loaded. You became capable of things your normal self couldn't do, and you didn't feel any of it because you couldn't afford to. But the moment it was over, your body sent the bill. All that energy, nowhere left to go. The adrenaline clears fast. And cortisol, the slower hormone that kept the whole response running, keeps arriving after the danger is already gone, like backup rushing to a fire that's already out. So you shake. You crash. You feel everything your body wouldn't let you feel while it was happening. That isn't weakness arriving late. That's your body finally allowing itself to fall apart. Because for the first time since it started, you're safe enough to. Peritraumatic dissociation. Something happens, and instead of feeling it, you leave. Not physically, you're still there. But suddenly you're watching yourself from somewhere outside your own body, like a camera that drifted a few feet away. You can see your hands, you can hear your voice. But none of it feels like you. This is called peritraumatic dissociation. In 1889, French psychologist Pierre Janet was the first to study this. He noticed that when an experience becomes too overwhelming, the mind doesn't break, it splits. One part keeps functioning, keeps surviving. The other steps back and watches from a distance. He called it dissociation, a word he invented. What happens inside that split is called depersonalization, the sensation that you are no longer the person experiencing what is happening to you. Some describe it as floating. Some describe it as glass between themselves and the world. It isn't weakness. It's the brain rerouting itself around an experience the self cannot survive intact. The unsettling part is this. You only find out it happened after, because while it was happening, you felt almost nothing, and that nothing was the protection. Tachypsychia. You are in the middle of it. A car sliding on ice, a fist coming toward your face, a glass falling off the counter, and suddenly everything slows down. You watch the glass turn in the air. You count the rotations. You have time to think about your next move. Time to notice the light on the windshield. Time to feel strangely calm inside something that should be terrifying. This slowing is called Tachypsychia. Police officers describe it after shootouts. Athletes describe it mid-collision. Survivors describe it during falls that lasted 2 seconds, but felt like 20. For years, people assumed the brain was actually processing faster in that moment. Research says otherwise. Your reflexes were not sped up. Your brain was recording more. Under a flood of dopamine and adrenaline, memory gets laid down at a higher density, every detail stamped in hard. So afterward, when you replay it, there is simply more there to replay. The slow motion was never real time. It was a thicker memory built in a few seconds, remembered like it took a lifetime. Pre-attentive threat detection. You walk into a room and something feels off before you know why. Not a thought, a shift in your body, a tightening in your chest, a pull toward the door. Only seconds later do you notice the man standing too close to the exit, or the raised voice down the hall, or the shadow that moved wrong. Your body already knew. This is called pre-attentive threat detection. Researchers have found the brain can register a threatening face in under 200 milliseconds. Faster than conscious sight even registers an image. The signal travels straight to the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure buried deep in the brain, built to scan for danger before language, before logic, before you can name what you saw. It skips the slow route through conscious thought entirely and fires a warning first, explanation later. That is why fear sometimes arrives with no evidence attached. Your mind has not caught up yet. Somewhere underneath it, a part of you already ran the numbers and did not like the answer. Incongruent affect response. You laugh at a funeral. You smile while telling someone terrible news. You catch yourself grinning right after a car accident, and you hate that you did. This is not a character flaw. It has a name, and it happens more than people admit. Psychologists call it incongruent affect, when your expression does not match what the moment actually calls for. In the 1960s, Stanley Milgram ran his famous obedience experiments, where ordinary people believed they were delivering real electric shocks to a stranger in the next room. As the screams got louder, many of them did not go silent. They laughed. Milgram wrote that this was not cruelty. It was a mind trying to survive a moment it could not process. Your brain does the same thing when two realities collide at once, and the nervous system needs somewhere to put the pressure. So if you have ever smiled at the worst possible moment, that was not you being broken. That was your nervous system finding the only exit it had. Cognitive narrowing. You have been in a moment where everything around you just vanished, and only one thing stayed in focus. A phone screen, a pair of headlights, a face across the room. The rest of the world blurred out, the sound dropped away, and your whole world folded down to a single point. There is a name for this, cognitive narrowing, and it happens the instant your brain decides one thing matters more than everything else combined. Boxers describe this constantly, stepping into a packed arena, and then not hearing a single sound from the crowd until the final bell. The noise was still there. Their brain simply stopped letting it in. Your brain is not malfunctioning when this happens to you. It is doing the oldest job it has, protecting you from the one detail that could get you killed, even if it means losing everything else around it. That is the entire point of the narrowing. It decides what matters in that instant and buries the rest before you even notice it is gone. Somatic Flashback. You are sitting somewhere completely safe, maybe on your own couch, and out of nowhere your chest goes tight, your stomach drops, your whole body braces like something is about to happen. Nothing is actually happening. Nothing around you has changed. This is called a somatic flashback, when your body relives a past danger without your mind ever calling up the actual memory that caused it. It skips the images entirely. There's no scene playing out, just the sensation itself, arriving fully formed, as if your body kept its own private record separate from the rest of your memory. Survivors of car accidents describe this constantly. Years later, sitting as a passenger, their foot presses instinctively against an imaginary brake pedal, the exact motion from the moment right before impact. Their mind is not even thinking about the crash at all. The memory skipped straight past thought and went directly into muscle. Your body can hold on to a sensation the same way skin holds onto a scar. Quiet most of the time, but never fully gone. That is the part nobody tells you. Healing does not always start in your thoughts. Sometimes it has to start in the exact place your body decided to freeze.